Welcome to Chamber Exchange, the TV show. My name is Tim Murray, President and CEO of the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Chamber Exchange, the TV show, is brought to you by our sponsors, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital. And it's an opportunity for us to talk about economic development, job growth, and public policy that affects job growth here in central Massachusetts. And with that, really pleased to have with us Zach Dutton, who is the CEO or director of executive director of Auxilium, which has really been filled a much needed void that's existed here for a long time. So maybe Zach, before we get into a couple of things related to Auxilium, maybe you could just kind of give our viewers who may be not familiar with Auxilium how it started, who started it, what your role is. And then we'll get into the MBI Accelerator, which is just so exciting, as well as Startup Worcester Week.
Oh, thanks, Tim. Excited to be here. Yeah, Auxilium is an accelerator innovation studio. We're based in your building at 311 Main Street, but we're supported by and backed by Rucker Investments, which is the family office of Cliff Rucker, who owns the Worcester Railers. And it's really comes from Cliff's vision of Worcester becoming an innovation hub, taking advantage of all the people, the universities, everything that's happening here, really Worcester's history, to build on that and support companies. So we run an accelerator program where we invest $250,000 in the companies selected to participate.
And it's not just one company at a time, it's usually several, correct?
It's somewhere between 3 and 5 per cohort. And then we run an early stage program for entrepreneurs that are at the beginning stages of their program. And that program runs up to 12 months, and it provides $100,000 in milestone-based funding with a goal of helping them really validate their business opportunity.
Right, and you know, it's that in and of itself is hugely important because there's been a void. And you know, being at the chamber now for nearly 13 years, Lieutenant Governor and as mayor, one of the challenges that we've had in Worcester is, yes, the colleges and universities are great, and there's some great research going on, but really, with the exception of the life sciences and so many of these other innovation sectors, there really hasn't been capital and seed money to help scale them and really vet them out to see if they've got that idea and kind of grit that you need as an entrepreneur to take it to the next level. And what Cliff Rucker has done, and your work leading, in your roles, leading to being the executive director of Auxilium, is just fills a void, because we know that there are so many exciting sectors. Maybe just you could kind of talk about the range of companies that you've had in a couple of the cohorts.
Sure. In our accelerator program, it's funny, they all kind of touched healthcare, but we had insurance tech, medical device, and then medical almost diagnostics with a histology company. We have 6 companies now operating in our innovation studio, mostly focused on software, but across the board from looking at people's legacies and their estate planning to how to make private jet travel more accessible to people.
Right.
So it runs a really wide gamut, and we have people mid-stage of their careers who have chosen to start something new, and we actually have one student out of Holy Cross, a senior who's graduating this spring, and someone who's a recent graduate from WPI. So we've got a huge gamut of people, and actually one company focused on their initial target market is hockey, which we were talking about before.
Well, I mean, just this seed capital, this investment is just so critical, and again, filling a huge gap, and letting people know that they can stay in Worcester, and also opportunity for us to kind of recruit entrepreneurs, et cetera, here. The one entity that has been doing this really well, and there's a connection for the chamber helped start and spin off 40 plus years ago, MBI, Mass Biomedical Initiatives. And the rationale from the leadership at the time at the chamber and some in healthcare and at UMass Chan Medical School was, we built the biotech park. We had BASF, then Abbott, now AbbVie as the anchor. So you've got some of the a large company that's known internationally, but then how do you also take some of the research that's taking place at UMass Chan, bringing other life sciences kind of entrepreneurs and ideas?
Absolutely.
And MBI is an incubator, and they've done a phenomenal job in scaling companies, creating companies over 40 years that have really added to the life sciences biotech ecosystem for Massachusetts, and added jobs here in Worcester and a lot in Metro West. You're partnering with them now with the Auxilium MBI Accelerator. Can you just tell us what that is?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we're really excited about because, as you just talked about, life sciences is a big part of our ecosystem here, and an MBI being such a a presence and with so much experience and connections, we saw it as a great opportunity to build off of what they're doing, because they do a lot to support their companies, but they're not a group that invests in companies. So we think by partnering with them, we have the ability to sort of combine what we're good at, which is some of the business training, bringing some of the investment dollars to bear, while taking advantage of their expertise and really their network's expertise, which we'll use in sort of the form of mentors and workshop leaders to attract companies to Worcester to participate in this 3-month program, and to support companies that are local, some possibly even at MBI, who are looking for the help and the mentorship and the guidance to really start to scale their ventures.
Yeah, and MBI, I mean, they are able to provide space, shared labs, etc. So someone with an idea doesn't have to incur those costs. They kind of provide them a whole range of support, and in return take a small piece of equity in the company, and that equity has grown into a fund that allows them to kind of reinvest and grow, is also and piece together grants and things where appropriate. But the key of their funding is, as these companies have grown and become ongoing concerns, they've earned a return on investment. That's why this investment is so critical, both on the life sciences, biotech side, and what Cliff is doing with Auxilium, and then getting these other individuals in these companies to kind of help bring other investors to the table.
Yeah, it's when we complete the accelerator program, which will start in June, we will have an investor summit where we'll invite investors to come and to hear the companies that have participated in it. And I know this is something that MBI has been successful at doing. I mean, it's always amazes me when you think that I think Worcester is the 15th biggest life science biotech market in the country.
Yeah, in terms of workforce, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just all the more reason to double down on that commercialization, why those investment dollars are so critical, and why we're having a community conversation about foundations and individual investors and what college endowments can and should be doing. Those are all kind of part of it, because we need to be investing in things that create jobs and investing in our talent here locally.
We're really excited for it.
Yeah. And the last couple minutes we have is Startup Worcester Week, April 7th through the 9th. Tell us about that.
Well, this is the second year we're doing it. We're excited to be leading this again, and to be supported by a variety of different sponsors. But it starts with an innovation crawl on the 7th, where we're going to go tour 4 really interesting facilities. So we're going to the Coughlin Companies, the Worcester Food Hub, Practice Point, which is part of WPI, and we're going to the UMass Chan Medical School.
Right.
So it should be pretty exciting. That night is Wu Tank, which is the intercollegiate pitch competition.
Right.
I think this is the 3rd one. And then we'll be running workshops on Wednesday and Thursday, 3 per day, all designed around not just like who's the entrepreneur in the room, but to provide interesting information and advice for some to people that are looking to grow their companies in different ways. So financing, use of AI, we're really trying to cover a broad swath.
Yeah, well, we'll save the AI stuff for another episode. Auxilium website, people can go to learn more.
Yeah, it's auxiliumworcester.com.
Okay.
Application details are there for the accelerator program and also for the innovation studio.
Good stuff. Zach Dutton, Executive Director of the Auxilium. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And stay with us. We're going to come back for our next segment.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. Why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.